Jefferson told the world of the tyranny of George III. He said this: "He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation until his assent be obtained. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend them. The states remaining in the meantime exposed to all dangers of invasion without and convulsion within." This past week, the Supreme Court of the United States declared the federal government supreme over the state by telling the governor of Arizona she is no longer allowed to enforce the laws until the federal government assents. And given, if she yields, what do you suppose the federal government will do? Nothing. Will be utterly negligent to attend them. Justice Kennedy actually said that being in this nation illegally is not illegal. That is in the Arizona ruling. Thomas Jefferson told the world of the tyranny of George III. He said, "He has made judges dependent upon his will alone. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to eat out their substances." This past week, the Supreme Court of the United States declared that the federal government was superior to the individual. We now can be taxed, I almost said lawfully, but it's not lawful. According to the Supreme Court, lawfully, not only for things that we buy, but for things that we do not buy. And we will be prosecuted if we refuse to assent to these unlawful laws. But you see, we are a nation that holds these truths to be self-evident. That all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. And even if the Supreme Court of the United States does not remember this, or even know, we know that to secure these rights, governments were instituted among men, not over them. And that the government derives its just powers from the consent of the governed, not by the ruling of the Supreme Court. We also know that when a government becomes destructive to those ends, it is our right to alter or abolish it.
Amen.
Today, July 4th, 2012, we must declare independence from this tyranny.
Amen.
We must declare independence from a Congress that no longer understands that liberty is not a commodity. All too willing, even in the most recent conservative House, to trade liberty for security, liberty for health care, or liberty for whatever stuffs their pockets and benefits themselves personally. We must declare independence from a presidency that doesn't know the difference between a republic and a kingdom. That believes, as George III did, that we are subjects to the crown of the president. We must declare independence from a Supreme Court that no longer regards the Constitution as the supreme law of the land, that has gone out of their way to declare that it's not the Constitution that's the supreme law of the land, but in Arizona declared that it's the arbitrary discernment of an individual officer that is supreme over the states. The discretion of an officer is now supreme, and not a police officer, mind you, but a federal agent is supreme over the laws of the Constitution and of the state. And in the healthcare law ruled that we can be taxed for anything, and that the individual no longer has individual liberty. We must declare independence from a Supreme Court that believes that they are not only judge and jury, but now have become executioner of the Constitution of the United States. Today, July 4th, 2012, is our Independence Day. Today, we, the people, must stand for liberty by demanding that this state take back its sovereignty. We must stand behind our governors when they say to the federal government, looking them in the eye and say, "You cannot do this in my house." No way. We will not comply.
Amen. Amen. Yes.
We must stand today for liberty by doing everything that we can over the next 4 months to secure liberty-reminded representatives and put them into office. No longer can we tolerate any politicians to be willing to compromise the principles our founders died for. And if they don't understand those principles, if they don't understand their oath, if they don't have the courage and the fortitude to stand for them, they are not qualified to do their job. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we must declare independence from tyranny. Today, we must take a stand because tomorrow is too late. Today, we must do everything that we can to save America, not just for ourselves, but as our founders said, for ages and millions yet unborn. For if we do not, we will condemn our children to pledge their life, their fortune, their sacred honor for something that we have been entrusted with. Today, ladies and gentlemen, because we are a republic. Today, because we are one nation under God and not one nation under government. Today, because we are a government of the people, by the people, for the people, not of politicians, by our state capitals, for the federal government. Today, because we are a nation founded upon the principles of liberty, and we do not want to see our children condemned to slavery. Today, July 4th, 2012, we must stand. Today must